Round one coming out of the East for the Stanley Cup playoffs. Had some pretty good excitement yesterday. Very fun day of hockey from start to finish last night. You had the Lightning absolutely destroy the Panthers. Tampa Bay came out. They said it yesterday. They did exactly what Montreal did against Washington, which is exactly what I said they need to do if they want to have a chance against Florida. They need to come out hitting everything that moves and start fights after the whistle. And I've said before, I'm not a big fan of the bickering after the whistle with a lot of the stuff. But that's exactly what they needed to do. Montreal showed it worked against Washington. And then Tampa showed it worked against Florida. Get Florida pissed off. And like I said, just hit them. Slow them down physically. You know, Tampa is fast, but they're not quite as fast as Florida is. And they showed that last night. They just, they showed how to stop the speed last night. Again, just physical play. A little rough at the beginning, but they started dominating in Florida's zone. It helps when you get handed a couple of power plays, like Marchand breaking his stick on Lilleberg's arm in the first. I mean, it didn't result in anything, but still, it was like that's the stuff Florida needs to avoid. Because when you're in the box a lot, plus you're getting beat up a little bit, that's a lot of energy drain. And, Tampa just outlasted. Makes it interesting for game 4. Because, actually, did that... Hang on, I accidentally hit some... Come on. All right. I don't think... Oh, 15 minutes in the third. That was the last one. Hang on. Yeah, so no power plays for each side between Florida and Tampa. So, like I said, the extra man didn't really help. But, again, it tires your guys out. And when you're getting beat up and tired, it makes for a long game. After that, we had the Golden Knights in the Wild. Big finish in overtime for Ivan Barbashev. Vegas won 4-3 with 2:20 to go in the overtime, right? About 2:34, if I'm doing my math right. So that was big. 2 power play goals for the Golden Knights. That was really big. Haven't been fantastic on the power play recently, but we got 2 last night. So big tied up the series, headed back to Vegas. So that is very big. Let's see. Senators last night coming in overtime and beating the Toronto Maple Leafs to stay alive. I kind of saw this game being 4-3. I honestly thought Maple Leafs would do a little more damage, but close game, ends in overtime. Power play goal and a shorthanded goal to start it off for Ottawa. I forgot to put my hat on. But Senators just fight for their life to stay alive, scoring 4 goals on only 21 shots. That was a pretty good game. I didn't kind of cooking dinner, didn't see most of the start of it, but that third period was very good, and then the overtime was very, very good. 17-42 into overtime. So again, couple overtime games that went deep into overtime before we had a winner. A lot of fun to watch. And then Colorado just beating the hell out of Dallas yesterday is always entertaining. 4-0 Colorado. It's the night for Otter started off shorthanded goal, power play goal. So they ended up pulling Otter in the third. I have a feeling they did it more for an energy change versus really blaming Ottinger. But like I said, I mean, the heads up, whenever it's heads up, that's 50-50. You know, the numbers may not work out like that, but the truth is, depending on the player, depending on the goalie, depending on the gap between the defensemen, depending on the ice condition, it's 50-50. And so you give that one, kind of be a little bit lenient on Ottinger. And then when it comes to the power play goal, like with both of those, what I'm trying to say is his skaters in front of him completely let him down. The Dallas Stars completely let down Otter right off the bat. So, I mean, and then 24 seconds to go in the first period when that second power play goal comes in. But you did have the captain, Gabriel Landeskog, second period, burying a puck. Awesome to see. I loved seeing him. The first clip I saw of him back in action was playing the Henderson Silver Knights in the AHL, playing for the Colorado team. And it was really cool. Crowd going nuts, everybody on the ice giving the handshake and the fist bump and stuff, because everybody knows the story. Cartilage replacement, something that no hockey player has ever come back from. Takes 3 years. He comes back in game 3, the first one in Colorado. The place goes nuts every time he touches the puck. Like, it was great, because I could be looking wherever I wanted. And you could tell it was a different sound. The crowd would go crazy when he touched the puck. And then in the second period, he sends one home. So Gabriel Landeskog coming back, looking good. Started his first shift, game 3, taking out Rantanen with just good pressure on his hip and his back. So Colorado is just fun to watch. I mean, when you look at it's when McKinnon, Landeskog, Natus, Makar, and Tays are on the ice together, it is just fun to watch. It is incredibly fast-paced. Lot of talent in that group. All right. I may be on... Let's check one of the other links, see if we're doing the national anthem yet, at least. Nope. All right, still waiting for this one for puck drop. Oh. Oh, no, it's buffering. They are doing the anthem. Y'all may not be able to hear it, but we do it every time. Nice! Alrighty. I'm excited for this one. I did not watch a moment of the last game where the Blues absolutely destroyed the Jets 7-2. So I'm not 100% sure on what to expect this game to look like. I know what the first two did, and it was the type of hockey that I wait for the playoffs so that I can watch. So, hoping for some crazy hits like we know that these guys are capable of. Looking for some crazy moves, some insane stoppages by Hellebuck and Bennington. I'm half expecting Bennington to, If Winnipeg scores a couple of times real quick, expect Bennington to start losing his shit, which is always entertaining. Alrighty. Oh, there it is. Allowed 4+ goals in 9 of last 12 playoff games. See, that's the one thing that I'm like, oof. Because if Hellebuck's already getting burnt out on the third game, then the Jets are absolutely in trouble. Hopefully, it's just a one-time thing. Again, I didn't watch it. I don't know what the situation was that led to those goals, so I got to be a little careful on my judgment. Dude, St. Louis already had a scoring chance. I'm barely getting through this. It's like I get through half a thought, and St. Louis comes in and just like attacking the Winnipeg net. Puck dump deep, Winnipeg in the behind the net. They get it up and out. St. Louis takes it over back in their zone. Blues cross the red into the zone. Good pressure up high, but St. Louis maintains the puck up close. And a good stop. It looked like, I'm not going to lie, it looked like a trip for a second, but I'm pretty sure Sandberg just cut off the lane. Yeah, dangerous chance right across the crease. Who was that? Morrissey with a good job keeping pressure. Oh, and that was clean. Sandberg got his stick on stick. That was, who was it? 6. But no, that was actually a great defensive play twice. One by Morrissey, one by Sandberg for Winnipeg to keep sticks busy across the crease. Winnipeg down. And Bennington gets the save. Dude, my brain still ain't waking up yet. Forgive me. Face off to the right of Bennington. Winnipeg ends up with it. Low point. Big shot and glove save. Bennington held on to it for just a moment too long. Down to the low wall. St. Louis gets it out. Neighbors gets it in. Puck all the way around. Oh, little. Okay, it was a trip. Delayed penalty as Winnipeg touches up. So we have a tripping on. Who's going? Nemesnikov is going to the box, and we've got an early power play. Oh, yeah, he absolutely stuck his skate out and tripped him. There's no denying that. Take a quick look at the last game. Where is it? One. St. Louis had 3 power play goals last game. 6 for 15 in the series is pretty good. Blues controlling at the high point, dump it down. All the way to the baseline. Back up to the high wall. Tries to go center baseline, shoot it, and it goes all the way across. Puck hits the glass and exits the zone. Fowler coming back in. He pitches it back to the point on the high dot. Hellebuck makes a great save. Ooh, okay. Got to get the noggin going a little bit. I guess that makes sense that that's a penalty. I don't know the last time I've seen a guy cross-check somebody in the back of the knees. But Iafallo kind of gets away with the trip in there. Winnipeg dumps it deep. St. Louis resetting from their own zone. Kicking it back. A minute to go in the power play. Storming in up the low side. Wraparound chance. Puck goes out to the high dot and sent all the way back. Another chance. 45 seconds on the power play. Puck gets into the high corner. Winnipeg gets there first, trying to send it around the wall. It's stopped short. And Jets are going to get it out. Iafallo backhands it all the way down. St. Louis running out of time on their first power play. Across the blue line. And we got an offsides as St. Louis enters the zone. 15 seconds left on the power play. Just shy of 3.5 gone in the first period. Shots are 2 apiece. Struggle bus on the St. Louis power play. I mean, St. Louis is 6 for 15. That's game stats. What happened to the team stats? Do I have to wait? Yeah, probably. St. Louis has the puck in the low corner. Low point across. Throwing it at the net from the high point. Ends up on the low wall. Low circle, low corner. Back to the low circle. Big shot goes wide. Winnipeg gets out of the penalty kill with no damage. And as far as I know, no shots. Maybe got one on net. But I'm pretty sure we started to, too. Scheifele, low wall. Pitching it out. Gets it across the red line. Makes a bad pass as he knew the hit was coming. And that's a good lesson. If you're going to get hit anyway, you might as well make the pass on target. High dot. Big shot. Stopped by Hellebuck. Scheifele going up to the high wall. Gets it down low. And it's dumped in. Who is that? Is that is that Perbix 81? No, Connor's 81. Perbix is 91. Or sorry, Perfetti. Good Lord, I am a mess with these names. Haven't gotten to watch much of these two. Puck all the way across the point, thrown down into the mix of bodies. St. Louis able to get it to the low corner, and the Blues are headed back the other way. Turned over right into neutral, though. Coming out low, out of the Winnipeg zone. Throwing on net, and Binnington is going to save it. Sorry, Binnington is going to glove it. Good Lord. All right, we got to wake up. Got to get the blood going, man. Need a commercial so we can stand up and do something. I apparently, or obviously, have not woken up yet. Damn, dude, the Blues are rocking the Jobu statue from Major League. That's kind of dope. 5.5 gone in the first. Shots are now 3-3. And we're facing off to the right of Binnington. Dude, Binnington's pre-face-off setup is killing me. Because he gets up and he gets his arms ready. And then he gets lower. And so he just stands there Frankenstein until they get ready to drop. And then he kind of just drops his ass. And I don't know why, but that's killing me right now. Face off. Looks like we're coming to the middle dot. Believe the puck went up and out of play into the bench. Since the Four Nations break, St. Louis has been spectacular. I will. Oh, there we go. Anderson Dolan is just cross-checking the shit out of Texier. Like, it got so bad battling at the top of the face-off that they replaced. They're like, fuck it, dude. You can't handle standing here. Go get in the face-off. But Winnipeg wins it, chasing it all the way down. Winnipeg getting it up the low wall. Shot out of nowhere. That caught Binnington off completely by surprise. That caught me by surprise. Jets able to get it into the high corner, but most of them are going for a change as the Blues get it out. Blues, Texier dumps it deep. Hellebuck to settle it. Morrissey looking from his own zone. Gets it ahead, and the puck ends up deep in the Winnipeg zone. The Blues zone. Appleton goes chasing it. Puck up to the high point. Shot goes wide of the net. Oh, good little battle, but Blues end up getting it out under a lot of pressure. Pionk sends it straight through. He had a chance to collect the puck there and get it back. It ended up working out the same way, so nothing lost. Pionk up the ice. Dumps it deep. Follow chasing it into the low corner. Ooh, little backhand from Connor, just shut down. Blues get across into the Winnipeg zone. Well, we got a high stick. Indeed we do. Yep. So 12:44 to go in the first. We're hitting a commercial break while they clean up the ice. Shots are 5-3 Winnipeg. Nothing really going for each side at the moment. Winnipeg's winning the faceoffs 55.6%. The Blues have 7 hits. The Jets have 1. If the Jets don't fix that, it's going to be a repeat of Game 3. The reason that you guys don't need to hear me say it again. It's all about hitting. Hit people. Like Scheifele made a horrible pass through neutral that turned it right over to a Blue stick because he wanted to avoid the contact. So he curled up and kind of flung it. And again, I don't blame guys for not wanting to get the shit kicked out of them. But you're going to get hit anyway. He got hit anyway. You might as well stay in it and make the pass. It's like receivers in football. 9 times out of 10, when the ball's thrown to you as you go across the middle, you are going to get hit. You might as well catch the ball and then get hit. You know? Winnipeg's got 2 giveaways to St. Louis' 0s. No takeaways yet. Dude, that's just so wild. 5-3 Winnipeg, 2-1 Winnipeg, 7-2 St. Louis. Let's see who we seeing a lot. We're seeing a lot of Iafallo. Seeing a lot of Connor like usual. A lot of Morrissey, a lot of Sandberg, a little bit of Pionk. Nobody else really haven't really taken anything away. Kyra's busy. Sundquist's been busy. Balduck, Bushnovich, like Fowler and Parayko, but a lot of just kind of going through the motions and a lot of guys. It's kind of like the other, who is it? Like with the Devils, you see Bratt all the time. You know when he's working type shit. Oh, we got a penalty. Bushnovich gets up and looks like he's about to beat the shit out of somebody. But as the Jet gets up off the ice, Bushnovich going to the box. We get our first Winnipeg power play. This is a huge opportunity with 12:23 to go in the first for Winnipeg. No, he got interfered with as he went to hit Scheifele. That's actually a bullshit call. He went to hit Scheifele, and the dude came around, he interfered with him. He literally stuck his stick in his skates and hit him, which caused him to fall forward. And they call it a roughing. I disagree with that call. Winnipeg wins the faceoff to O'Connor in the low point. Back up high. Top of the high circle. Back to the point. Morrissey looking. Back to the top of the high circle. Trying to get it down low. Tip goes on. Binnington makes the save. Puck all the way down. Hellebuck settles it. Morrissey. My bad. My brain I just blanked out. I didn't have a thought in my head for a moment there. Winnipeg, Connor, up to the high wall. I follow it. Oh, that's Perfetti, I believe. I follow. Now has it at the low point. Back to the midpoint. Top of the high circle. Down to the baseline. Ooh, low baseline. Scheifele missed the puck. Back to the low baseline. Low wall. Looking. Baseline. I follow. Back to Connor at the circle. Up to the point. Morrissey. Back to Connor. Down low. Big pass across the crease, and it swung on and missed. They say Binnington able to grab it. I think when he went to hit it, he just whiffed, or he barely got a piece of it. Let me see. Yeah. "54 seconds to go on the Winnipeg power play. They're doing a good job moving the puck around the outside. It's just St. Louis is doing a good job keeping the middle of the ice shut down, keeping a lot of traffic at the top of the net or the top of the crease. What just happened right there? I don't know if dude got tripped, but it definitely looked like he did. He went into the boards hard. I want to see that again because big shot. Binnington blocks it. Back up to the point. Binnington blocks it again. All the way around the back of the net. 10 seconds on the Winnipeg power play. Pionk gets it down to the top. The high wall, top of the circle shot. Nothing. Pionk throwing it at the net. Binnington shuts it down and freezes it. We are back to full strength. Show that one more time. Damn, I hate these guys. Hockey guys suck with replays. They'll sit there and show the guy skating off for 30 seconds and then show the replay you want to see for 5. Winnipeg keeps it in the zone, gets it down low, up the low boards, sent right back down around the net, but St. Louis has it, and they're able to get it clear. Good job by Leddy. Winnipeg. And a big trip. That is, you can't not call that, and you can't argue that. He does it. Everybody in the crowd went, oh, like, damn it. Halfway through the first period, we go back on a Winnipeg power play. Yeah, I mean, there's nothing you could say about that. I mean, he just straight chopped the old boy, dude. I was Tucker just taking a hard swing and takes Laurie down. Like, dude, that was actually... Like I said, that's one of those where you just go, okay, fuck, and you go to the box. And that's exactly what he did. Of course, screen Annabelle. Absolutely not. There's a reason you cannot watch free on YouTube, and that is copyright. I have followed down the low boards, back up to Morrissey on the low point. High wall, back to Morrissey in the middle, thrown down low, misses the net. Connor's going to get it. Low circle. Looking, goes to the point. Morrissey over to the high circle. Back to Morrissey up top. Connor, low circle, all across the crease. He can't get it through. Good sticks by St. Louis. Morrissey from the point hits a skate out high. Connor at the low point. Across the blue line. Morrissey to the high circle. Trying to get it down low again, and it's just hitting too many bodies up front. Blues send it all the way back. 50 seconds left on the Winnipeg power play. 8:50 to go in the first. Shots are 10-3 Winnipeg. Jets into the Blues zone. Good stick. Breaks up the pass, but Winnipeg recovers. And then they miss. Pionk lets the puck go all the way down. Hellebuck to play it. Niederreiter coming out of his own zone. Across the red. In. Winnipeg gets it back down low. Nemestikov looking. Low circle at the baseline behind the net. Up top from the high circle. Misses the net. Sent back around the boards. 5 seconds on the Winnipeg power play. They're still controlling in the Blues zone. Big shot from Pionk. Scramble up front. And we got a save by Binnington. Loose puck as he covers it up. Someone from the Jets came in like trying to gut him. Niederreiter. And I don't think that was Niederreiter that was. Nope, it was Barron. Just starts swatting at and trying to dig under Binnington, and he got blasted after the whistle. But good save, Binnington. You know what? Winnipeg's power play does not look bad. They are getting in the zone. They're spending time in the zone. They're setting up. They're passing well on the outside. They're trying to get the puck to the middle. They have. They get it low on the baseline, go across the crease. They've gotten it a couple times. Just a couple weak connections, if not no connections, across the crease. And so no shots coming on, or no quality shots coming on net. Maybe the one. But the St. Louis power play is doing exactly what they need to do. Because like I said, Winnipeg's passing well on the outside. St. Louis, like, dude, pass on the outside. Go for it. Because they're focused on shutting down right in front of the crease. They're doing very, very well getting their sticks in the passing lane and the shooting lane. Now, coming from the point, they're letting some pucks get to Binnington, but Binnington's doing very well with those. But they're shutting down everything inside home plate. They're shutting down, like I said, getting the sticks in the lane. They're getting the puck out of the middle when there are loose pucks. So yeah, actually, both sides, like I said, Jets' first power play didn't look as good as that one did. But St. Louis doing a great job to counter it. Let's see what we're looking at stats-wise. Oop, wrong button. So the shots right now are 11-3 Winnipeg. And, Blues have 4 block shots. Jets have 2. So to go with their 4 shots, 3 shots, there's 2 block shots. St. Louis is not doing well offensively. Just say that. They've had a couple of moments where it looks like there's some possibilities, but they are just not setting up. Hits are 9-3 St. Louis. And I'd really like to see Winnipeg get back into hitting the shit out of people because, granted, give it to them. Like I said, I have no idea what caused the circumstances last game because I didn't get to see it for the 7-2. But Winnipeg, guys, Jets, let's go. Get your shit together. Like I said, they've had plenty of opportunities, plenty of shots on goal, but let's start putting some guys down. Like that. Morrissey just got put to the ice. Who's that? By Turpchenko. St. Louis into the blue zone. Neighbors sends it around. Winnipeg's got to end up with it, and they get it clear. Iafallo dumps it deep. Oh, and a big slip down low. Somehow Iafallo stays in it with Connor keeping on pressure. Winnipeg set up in the St. Louis zone. Shot hits a body out high, comes way back out to the point. Scheifele down low, trying to get up the boards. Oop. Winnipeg gets it. Big shot from the point. Hits bodies out high. Iafallo recovers on the high wall. High point. All the way down and around. Out to the middle. And Connor cannot connect on the centering pass. Good pressure, though. Perfetti gets in and gets the puck back. Winnipeg still controlling. Hits a body out front from the point. Backhand and it goes in. Kyle Connor finally finds the back of the net for Winnipeg. That is exactly how this period has been going. Winnipeg just dominating in the St. Louis zone. Taking time. Again, controlling the outside, getting the pucks to the middle. So far, St. Louis has been good of getting them out of the middle. But that is just a wild bounce. Comes off the boards. It comes off the board straight to Perfetti, who sneaks it behind Bennington, hits the post, and goes straight to Kyle Connor. And it just skate to backhand. And while Bennington's still trying to figure out where the puck is, he leaves the side wide open. It's just under 6 minutes to go in the first. Shots are 12-3 Winnipeg, 1-0 Jets. Winnipeg gets the puck in their own zone. Pion gets it out. Good. That was really good pressure. Who was that? Falk had no idea that somebody was challenging him from the... Okay, maybe I could reword that. I had no idea the pressure was there, and he just gets pushed into the corner. Ends up with St. Louis getting the puck, but... Winnipeg is kind of doing what I thought they would do. Not in the way of hitting. I thought they'd be kind of pissed and just hitting everybody. But they are like... it is all about the quality of hockey. Everything they're doing is on point right now. And the Blues are scrambling. Finally, Blues almost get it out. A good stick by Winnipeg, and it's back in their zone. Blues get it deep. Winnipeg comes right back out. Oh, and again, Gustafsson gets stripped of the pucks. St. Louis gets it deep. All the way up. St. Louis keeps it in at the low point. Dumping it down under the net, back into the low corner. Couple of cross checks from the Blues. No harm, no foul. Still battling that low corner. Fleury and Tanev. And who's that? Topchenko and Turpchenko. My bad. And I can't see it. I hate that angle, man. Like, that angle below the net or in the corner is, on occasion, fine. But it makes it hard to see numbers a lot of times. Big shot from the low point goes wide. St. Louis still controlling in the Jet zone. Shot from the high point hits bodies. Puck back to the point. Low point, chucking it down. Below the net. Jets have it for a moment. St. Louis gets it, top of the circle. Over to the top of the low circle. Nowhere to go with it. He tosses it for the tip. Winnipeg stops it. And the Jets are able to get it out. Everybody going for a change. Blues working the puck down low. Behind the net. Little bit of a misconnection, but Blues still able to keep it in. This is the first real solid ozone possession we've seen from St. Louis. And they just can't get the puck to the net. Everything has hit bodies out front. All of their shots have been from the point or the top of the circles. And that hasn't been forced. That hasn't been, I don't see a lot of reason why they're taking all these shots from the point. They have space. Oh. Scheifele gets dumped, but ends up with the puck at his feet. Pionk sends it all the way back. We're going to have an icing. 2:11 to go in the first period. And we're going to have a face-off in front of Hellebuck as the Jets have iced it. Shots are 13-3. 3 shots in almost 18 minutes of hockey. And that's not their shot attempts. That's just what's been able to get to Hellebuck. But, I mean, they probably have 25 shot attempts. Every single one of them has either missed the net by a foot or most of them have just hit bodies 15 feet in front of the crease. Blues keep it in. Get it down to the high baseline. Up the high wall. Turn and shoot. Quick rebound shot. Hellebuck stops both. Sundqvist had a little bit of an opportunity up close. Same with Shen. Oh, no, it was just Shen. That wasn't Lundqvist. That was Neighbor. Man, I'm seeing... I got to get my eyes checked or something. I'm like, oh, okay, there's number 4. And then they show the replay, and it's number 23. It's like, wait, all right. Commercial break. So yeah, I figured this would be a much closer game than it was. But I'm still saying like 4-2 Jets. Because of the empty netter. Hurricanes, Devils. I would expect the Hurricanes to come out pissed, but the Devils might have figured something out. Let's go Winnipeg. Hey, I'm with you, Jesus. It's like the Devils have a chance at home. I will say that. However, I think the Hurricanes go in and just kind of put boot to ass. Same with the Capitals in Montreal. I Caps ain't happy with how Montreal treated them. And I wouldn't be either. They, like I said, all the shit that happened, Montreal invited. So whatever happens from here on out, that's on you. And I mean, granted, the Habs did what they needed to do to stay in the series. Because if they didn't do something like that, I don't see them winning. I really don't. So see how the Capitals react. And then tonight, Kings versus Oilers. Oof. It's Edmonton. It's hard to beat the Oilers in Edmonton. Everything goes their way. I'm sorry. It does. It wasn't too bad the last game, but yeah, I'm not a big I'm kind of looking forward to watch that game, but I know I did a warning last stream that we did Oilers Kings. It's like, I will be bitching about the officiating, I promise you. So be prepared. So we'll deal with that tonight when we get there. Jets, get it out of the zone. Dump it deep. Big shot from the low wall goes wide of the net. Blues back the other way. But Jets shut it down. Soft dump. Shot goes well wide into the high corner. Blues get it down at the low point. Little battle on the wall and the puck pops out. St. Louis from their own zone. Minute 10 to go in the first period. Blues back in their own zone to recover. 50 seconds to go on the clock. Behind Bennington, going to work their way out. Cut right up the center. Puck gets deep. Tried to send it behind the net. He does. Scheifele down low trying to get it towards his help. Good bit of pressure right there. St. Louis gets it up. Low dot. Right into a skate. Nice shot, Shea. Holy shit, they score. A wasted shot from the point into the skate. So the guy standing in front of him ends up deflecting straight to the point. And the shot goes down, and I think it's looking like Neighbors got a tip on it. Oh, he did get it. Okay, so I missed the first goal. So first we got to do scoring for the Winnipeg Jets. Kyle O'Connor, assisted by Perfetti and Sandberg. Got to give him his props. And now for the tie. Scoring for the St. Louis Blues. Jake Neighbors, assisted by Parayko. And with 22.7 seconds to go in the opening frame, we have a tie game. And that was the best control St. Louis had in the Jet zone by a factor of 100. Oh, yeah, he was offsides by a mile. That's just an incredible job by Neighbors. Just great hand-eye coordination. It stayed below the crossbar. And Neighbors is like very active for St. Louis. I mean, it's let's see. He only has one goal for the playoffs, and that's it. But, man, he has been all over the place. Tell you what, let me rinse out my cup, brush my teeth real quick, and we'll come back and talk and fish while we wait for intermission. Alrighty. Then we'll do this. We'll do this. And we'll throw that up there. Meanwhile, while we wait for intermission. Oh. There we go. Alright. So, what do we think of the first period between Minnesota and Winnipeg? Winnipeg is not playing the way that won them the first two games. However, it's a tie game going in late. St. Louis getting their ass kicked for most of the period comes back to actually put something together in the Jets' offensive zone. And the Jets just couldn't deal with it. I mean, I don't know if they were just tired or like what was really going on, but that's kind of what it looked like. They were just dominating. Kind of tire themselves out and have St. Louis come back and get one real late in the period. Definitely don't want that. Ice shifts to St. Louis at home as you come out for the second period. Gonna make it a little bit tougher. Let's see, grab this rod out. All right. Winnipeg needs to hit, though. It's funny. Every game I say the exact same thing. And the reason is, if the other team is just dominating you for possession time, Ozo time, shots on goal, everything, then you have one answer. Hit the shit out of them. Cause them to start losing the puck. Cause them to start ducking hits and making bad passes because they're afraid they're going to get walloped. Like, that really is so important. And the Jets know that because in the first two games, that's exactly what they did. They destroyed people. Now, granted, as the series goes on, you start getting hurt. You start getting sore. Definitely makes it... It makes it tougher to be that aggressive. However, St. Louis is doing it. I mean, they're not going quite as aggressive, but they are going aggressively at them. Actually, no, they're going more aggressively than I thought. The hits are 16-8 St. Louis. So the Jets need to go back, like, get their asses back in good form. I mean, let's take a look at what the hits were for last game. Their hits the last game were 59-54 Winnipeg. So, okay. That kind of does make me eat my words just because I was expecting that to be very different. Both teams were hitting the shit out of each other. Maybe that's why there were a bunch of power play goals. No, it wouldn't have been Wednesday. It would have been Monday. Or was it Sunday? There it is. Okay. Let's see. Game 2. Hits were only 33-29. Really? All right. See, actually, that does go to prove a point now that I'm thinking about it. Because it's not about the number of hits, it's about the quality and the timing. Are you actually causing disruptions? They had 59 hits in a game they lost 7-2. They had 33 hits in a game they won. But that first period of game 2 was an absolute slaughterfest. Everybody was getting their asses kicked, you know what I mean? So that ended up being really good. I don't know. Winnipeg dominated that entire first period. I said shots are... Oop, I got to go back to today. It'll be easier just to do this. Yeah, shots on net are 12-5 Jets. I don't know. If St. Louis is going to hit the way they are, then the Jets are going to get tired by the end of the game, and the third period should go to the Blues. Like to be proven wrong because I definitely, not that I got anything against St. Louis, I think Winnipeg's got it. But, I don't know. I will say Winnipeg, for what they're not doing in hits, they are making up for in incredibly clean hockey. Puck not going in, that's Binnington and some good sticks on the top of the crease for St. Louis. But the Jets are passing really well. They're entering the zone really well. Up until that last little bit, they were getting out of their zone very well. Like, Winnipeg is definitely playing better than St. Louis, but right at the end, St. Louis gets a little pep to their step as Winnipeg slows down, and you end up with a tie game. So, I said, not really sure what to expect in the second period, but if St. Louis just comes out fired up that they tied it up, and they keep hitting the way that they are, the Jets are just going to get tired. So we'll see how Winnipeg responds. But again, missed game 3. There were over 100 hits in game 3, which sucks that I missed it because that's what I've been wanting since the playoffs started. But that's the opposite of what's happening here. I don't know. Did anybody watch the game 3 between these two? Was it? I mean, like I said, when I see over 100 hits, I think Slaughterfest. There were what 3 power play goals. So, God, things were definitely getting chippy. Yeah, I thought this would end up being. I honestly thought Winnipeg would come out like absolute monsters. And again, not disappointed is probably not the right word, but actually a little bit disappointed. But again, gotta give it to Winnipeg. They are playing very high level hockey. St. Louis kind of figured it out towards the end. Again, I think it's just because Winnipeg's got a little tired towards the end of the period. And then St. Louis did a good job keeping the puck in for a long time. So we shall see. See if that's the turning point for St. Louis, where now they do to Winnipeg what Winnipeg did to them in the first, and they just dominate the ozone. I will say it hasn't been as chippy as I was expecting. Oh. I need to break out the ugly stick and go out to Willow Beach at some point. It's been a while since I've been able to go fishing. It's funny, my couple years ago, my ex was all about going fishing, and it was like, all right, let's go spend a whole shit ton of money to get tackle and all that, and then never wanted to go fishing. Like, all right, at least we wasted a whole bunch of money on that. Anyway. I'm trying to think about it's like talked about this game. Let's talk about Hurricanes Carolina coming up next. Sorry, Hurricanes and Devils. Hurricanes New Jersey, Carolina New Jersey. Um I really don't know how to feel about it. I was thinking Carolina is going to come out pissed and just whoop ass. But I don't know. New Jersey looked a lot better at home. Not that they were fantastic or anything, but they looked a lot better. Let's see. I mean, double overtime for the Devils. Take a look at some stats. Shots were 37-27 New Jersey. Penalty minutes were 12-10 Carolina. But see, that's a big thing, and that's where Carolina is, or that's where I see New Jersey not being able to hang. They got pretty lucky because Devils went 0 for 5 on their power play, and Carolina went 2 for 4. So it's just how that game could have gone so different. But Devils also had 33 blocked shots, and that's huge. Especially when the Canes got 27 on target. But I don't think the Devils commit. If we have that same kind of what in the world are we looking at? Hang on, let me see. They should have team stats somewhere. They don't have it on here. Hang on. Maybe I can find it. Let's see. Team stats. So Let's see. Yeah, Carolina is 30% on the power play. The Devils don't have a power play goal. So I feel like that's what's going to end up. Like, as much as the Devils could have a little bit of potential, you got to score on the power play. And Carolina is doing pretty good. So, and the Devils can't stay out of the box. It's impossible for them not to have some kind of dumbass penalty. And then next intermission, we'll look at Washington, Montreal, because I'm expecting some fireworks. My R's suck, apparently. I'm expecting some fireworks in Montreal. I mean, with what happened, Anderson and Wilson both got $5,000 fines. That's exactly what should have happened. It shouldn't have been any more than that. But if that's all it's going to be, hell. I mean, both of them got 10 minutes. But if that's all it's going to be, let's do it again. And like I said, Wilson, if he's headhunting, this is the first time where I'll be like, you know what, bro, I got you. Go head hunting. Like, try not to kill anybody, but if you just start going after dudes, I'm not saying that I agree with it, but I am saying that, fuck it. Montreal wants to open that door with Tom Wilson. For, don't let me stop you from making a dumbass decision. Oh, there, let me get the timer. Boom, boom, reset. Okay. Should be coming back in just a moment here. I'm going to refresh it just to make sure. Makes it a little tough to judge because this one just goes video break in progress until we get back to the game. And we're back to the game. Some kind of St. Louis feed because we're getting the Arches, St. Louis Union Station. Oh, yeah, let's do that. Alrighty. We are live in St. Louis. Puck goes all the way back to Hellebuck. Starting off, shots are 12-5 Winnipeg. Score 1-1. Getting into the second period, St. Louis making their way up the ice into the Winnipeg zone. Right up the gut, big shot fought off. Blues, low circle, or high baseline. They get it to the middle, another big shot fought off. Puck goes off the boards, right back to the high dot. Hellebuck fights off another shot. St. Louis figured something out at the end of that period, and I would expect to see some movement in the Winnipeg zone this time around. Jets kick it down behind Bennington. Up to the low point. Across. Down to the high circle. Low circle. Puck didn't quite make it through. Fumbles around in front of Binnington, and the Blues get it out. That's a hand pass, and it looked offside. So we're going to have a stoppage coming out to neutral. See, the Blues learned you can beat Binnington high. Yeah, that tip from Neighbors to score their goal, that's one of those that's like great play, St. Louis. You know, Jets should have got out of the zone, and no way is that on Hellebuck. Nobody's stopping that. Winnipeg up in the high corner. Little bit of a trip down as St. Louis takes the puck away. Going deep into the Jets zone. And the Jets get it out. Oh, can't get through neutral. Jets in the St. Louis zone. Solo just dancing around. Does a good job to move the puck. But Blues, Blues don't get it back. Towards the net. Hard angle. Trying to feed it up front. I thought the Blues got it out. Nope. Jets get it right back down for an attempt. Break it in. No, not enough space to get to the net. Blues on the low wall. Big hit by Neighbors. Just destroyed DeMello. My bad. 7:20 to go in the second. Did I say 7? Good grief. What is going on with me today? Almost 3 minutes gone in the second period. DeMello from behind his own net gets it right up the gut. Little swing and a miss by Winnipeg as the Blues go back the other way. Blues deep. Perfect reverse hit by Baldock on Anderson Dolan. Got a stoppage. I'm not exactly sure what just happened there, to be honest with you. I want to say it was an offsides. And mic'd up Fowler for St. Louis. Okay. Still waiting on the face-off. Let's see. About 3.25 gone in the second period. Shots 12-6. Nothing going so far for either side. Big save by Hellebuck, but a big rebound right up the center of the ice. Dude, Hellebuck's kicking rebounds into dangerous spots. There's been a couple follow-ups. Need to start getting them one and done. Blues don't keep it in, but the puck goes out of play anyway. Oh, I guess it was kept in. That's like I said, the one thing I love the angle, the standard angle for hockey games, except that it makes it you can't see any plays close to the low boards. So there's a lot of guessing in what's going on there. Damn. Cam Fowler has 7 assists. No wonder they mic'd him up. Blues win the faceoff. Can't keep it in. Fowler actually getting the highlight and fumbling the blue line. Good little spin back, set up, down. Was it Bushnovich? Man, we're having a lot of stoppages already. So, yes, kind of what I expected. St. Louis figured something out towards the end of that period when they got the goal, and now they are having a lot of success setting up in the Winnipeg zone. So far, no goals, but they've already got 3 shots on, and they've kept the puck from getting to Binnington. Pionk gets it up. Doesn't get it out. St. Louis coming in. High circle. Towards the net. Save Hellebuck. And the Jets finally get it out. Get it deep enough to at least get a couple of guys changed. Broberg just having struggles getting out from behind his net. He finally gets it all the way up, but it's a turnover at the Jets' blue line. Shot when Binnington fights it off. Rebound as he goes down to the ice, and Binnington fights it off again. Puck goes all the way back to the Winnipeg blue line. Jets into the zone. Leaves it back to the high point. Shot. Binnington's going to glove it and hold it. And now Winnipeg gets a quick 3 shots on goal. I do love how they show that stat, because up in the corner it says the score and it says the shots on goal, and then they put up the stat allowed 14 saves on 15 shots. It's like, yeah, we know. Dude, Kyle Connor was just perfect position. St. Louis setting up, but just not being aware right there. Big shot. Tipped, goes up over the net into the glass. Under pressure, Blues finally get it out at the blue line. Bushnovich gets it across the red, and now a big shot. Winnipeg shuts down. Hellebuck shuts down. Again, Hellebuck needs to stop putting his rebounds right back to the center of the ice. Blues get a lot of pressure at the red line, not able to get it in. I think Blues finally get it deep. Hellebuck to play it. Up the high wall. Jets are going to get out. Finally chucking it deep and play underneath the net. Battle on the boards. That's what I love. These guys go at it when the puck gets locked on the boards. Now you're getting a hell of a lot of cross checks out of Tucker. But no worries about that. Shot from the low point. Misses the net off the boards. And the Jets cannot keep it in. Winnipeg up the low wall all the way into the St. Louis zone, and Blues are going to head back the other way. And we got the exact same thing. So Jets come back the other way. Backhand off of Binnington. Sets up another backhand, but the Jets cannot connect. Wow, that was awesome. Pionk faked a shot, and the dude in front of him damn near flipped over himself. Who was that? Foxa. That was hysterical. Jets into the zone. Low circle. Behind the net. High corner. All the way around the low boards. Pionk at the low point. Back to Pionk. He throws it at the net. It's kicked off to the side. Jets controlling St. Louis right now. After what? Ooh, big hit. Barely. That could have been a lot worse if dude didn't see Pionk coming. Bouncing puck. Neighbors. Not able to connect with it. Jets going the other way. Nothing else. We are in a... Bennington's going to cover up from a shot on the high wall. Nothing else. This game is extremely fast-paced. A lot of back and forth. A lot of trying to stretch the ice and it not working out for both teams. But yeah, Blues came out firing and Jets are countering. They've kind of figured out how to slow down the Blues in the zone or in the O-zone. And now they're back to controlling the outside in the Blues area. And they're just they're actually doing pretty good, just kind of buying time, working the outside, then getting it up high. And a lot of those shots are coming from the top of the circles and the point. Like I said, they're actually doing pretty decent using the point to get pucks low because they're buying time. They're opening up. They started to open up St. Louis a little bit. Now their tips they're not tipping it in the right direction. So a lot of pucks missing the net, going high, things like that. But it's a matter of time. Now, I don't know if it's a matter of time that they beat Bennington with it. But it's a matter of time before those tips start being dangerous. Again, first period, St. Louis was doing pretty good, shutting down in front of the crease. During the power play, they do a really good job shutting down in front of the crease. But now they're leaving it open and pucks are starting to make their way to the goaltender. Shots are 19-9. This period, they're 7-4 in Winnipeg's favor. Now, St. Louis was up 3-0. Like, they were controlling. And now the Jets are up 7-4 for second period shots. So you can see the Blues kind of slipping in whatever they were doing right. Either that or Winnipeg has really flipped a switch into figuring out what the Blues were doing to counter them. 12:14 to go in the second. Face off to the right of Bennington, won by St. Louis. They get it across the blue line and across the red into the zone. Bushnovich at the low circle. Big contact. And I'm not sure, that looked like it might have actually been like an interference. DeMello just checked the shit out of somebody that was not near the play. Puck gets across the blue line. Jets headed back the other way. 2-on-2. Good sticks. Forces Winnipeg, the puck off Winnipeg. What is that? Falk. Not able to control the puck. Niederreiter's just getting stuffed on the wall, but he's got the puck frozen. Ooh, a little cross check from St. Louis. No harm, no foul. Big shot. Goes wide of the net. Bennington fights it off to the low corner. And the Blues get it out, but the Jets dump it right back in. Bennington to play it. Sends it around the low boards. And Blues headed back the other way. Dump and chase. Alabuck to play it. He sends it all the way around the low boards. And out. Not a whole lot of action in the O-zones. Pretty quick. Everybody's doing... Oh, chaos right in front as a puck hits the skates. Right in front of the net. Hits the skates of Walker. But now St. Louis going down the other way. Big backhand and a stop. Hellebuck. That was a very good effort to avoid by Walker to avoid running into Hellebuck. St. Louis back the other way. We're just going back and forth. Oh, and a big check. How did I already forget his name? I was DeMello twice doing some creative contact, we'll call it. And we are seriously going back and forth right now. Blues down at the low baseline, turning around. Good pressure by the Jets, but the Blues get it to the point. Soft shot. Ended up being a pass, not a shot. Blues keep it in. They're going to have it down low. Out front. Fought off by DeMello up the low boards. Blues still have it. Low point, high point, shot. And score! Settle down and let the Jets win. Hey. Dude, the Jets are doing everything right and not capitalizing. They were shutting down St. Louis. I mean, like I said, St. Louis that was what, their 5th shot this period? And it's been a minute since they had their, that's the 6th shot this period. Dude, Morrissey ended up providing the screen. I mean, Hellebuck's looking over like he got touched, but I can't believe Neighbors just missed that shot. But Hellebuck's trying to bitch because his stick got touched by the guy in front of him, and I don't think so. Scoring for the St. Louis Blues, Tyler Tucker, assisted by Letty and Texier. And now already we've had very close opportunities each way. Another big shot. Hellebuck locks it down from the top of the high circle. What a game. Expect nothing less. But yeah, St. Louis did not they looked great at the start of the period, looked really bad for about 6-7 minutes, and then come back and score. Wild. I gotta check real quick if I've got a thumbnail for the Hurricanes and the Devils. I'm pretty sure I do. I do. Okay. These stats ready. I said we'll see what's happening. I'm planning on being here for Hurricanes and Devils. What we might do what I typically do. As we get close to the start time for Hurricanes Devils, we'll reset onto that stream. But very much looking forward to Capitals Canadiens tonight. Kings Oilers, fun series. Like watching it. But I'm really looking forward to Washington and Montreal. Oh man, I need to go get my I need to go make my shake. Dude, oh, hang on. I've got to bring up. Oh, that's not what I want. Wait, did I? Hello? All right, I'll do that in a minute. 8 minutes to go in the second period. Shots are 19-12. St. Louis up 2-1. Why isn't my... Hang on a second. I just realized the chat isn't popping up. I'm having all kinds of issues today. Yeah, Hellebuck's got no complaint. They're trying to look at it like he may actually be right, but he is not. Puck all the way down into the Jet zone. DeMello tries to get it up the low wall, and it's kept in. Shifley now trying to get it up to Morrissey, who tries to get it out, and the Jets do. Trying to force his way down low. I follow shut off. St. Louis battling for the puck in the low corner with Shifley and I follow. Jets get it. Shot by DeMello. Ends up at the front of the crease. Blocked by a stick. Oh, nope, it did. They're counting it. It did get to Bennington. Blues controlling on the high wall. Good pressure by DeMello. Puck goes back behind Hellebuck. Morrissey's the only one back. St. Louis going for a change. Under 7 minutes to go in the second. Morrissey across the red line dumps it deep. Jets going for a change. Blues out of their own zone. Neighbors across the red into the Jet zone. Shot. Hellebuck fights it off with the pad. Niederreiter headed the other way. Gets the Jets get it into the Blues zone. Bennington back to play it. Perfetti knocks it down, but the Blues are going to go back into the Jet zone. Neighbors has to be tired, but he's still going after it. And now Bennington to play it. This period has really... There's been a couple of really good setups. When St. Louis scored, that was good. Jets had a couple of good ones. But there has been a lot of back and forth hockey. Just boom, 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 boom. Into the zone, out of the zone, into the zone, across the ice, back into neutral, into the zone. It's been wild. Blues into the Jet zone. Backhand goes on target. Hellebuck shuts it down, and he will freeze it. As we go to commercial. All right, so now I'm going to try and do this real quick. So I did get, I said I smoked up the meatloaf last night. If I can get into my drive, that would be very nice, but I don't even have the option here, which I don't understand. Where's my drive? What the hell's going on right now? There we go. All right. Download that. Download that. Download that guy. Download that guy. That guy. That guy. And that guy. Okay. So, I know, see, I gotta show CG later. But since we have a little bit of a break, Let's do this. All right, so let me try to order these a little bit. We'll go. So yeah, that. Oh, I didn't realize we were back. Holy shit. Appleton just hit the post and went up out of play. So at some point, like, dude, okay, so I've actually got the food all loaded up. At some point, I'm gonna share those pictures. Appleton hits him. The great decision by Appleton. He gets inside the low circle, takes a shot over Bennington's glove. Didn't try to keep it on the ice. Went for the corner, and he just missed. Great attempt, though. Puck behind the Winnipeg net. Blues working their way up to the point. Shot. And Hellebuck covers. All right, I'm missing a picture here. Yeah, 1 second. Where's the one I'm looking for? I guess I didn't get that one. All right. Under 5 minutes to go. Jets get it up into neutral. Into the Blues zone, down the high wall. Shot towards the net, bounces off something. Goes wide. Big shot from Pionk at the point. Bennington covers it. Bruh. Lowry just manhandled Tucker. And now he's going to the box, it looks like. I would like to see a replay instead of watching the guys stand there and yell and stuff, but how about we get a replay? No one cares what the coach is doing. Thank you. Yeah, I could see that being a penalty. Let's see how St. Louis does. Jets get it. They're going to go back the other way with it. Iafallo almost had a decent opportunity if he didn't get slowed down on the high wall. Blues coming back the other way. Up on the high dot. Turn and shoot. Oh, he went for the tip. Great opportunity. Missed to the right of Hellebuck. Low point. Blues controlling in the Jet zone until right then. Puck stolen on the low wall. Sent all the way down. 30 seconds gone in the power play. Puck all the way back up. And we got an offside. Someone didn't get to the bench in time. Boquist is bummed. That was a great pass. No, that was great. And then it was Sandberg and Shen both overskated the play. Shen did a good job recovering to go back in front of the crease. But yeah, that was Sandberg way overskated the play. That was a great job, a great lock up the brakes and turn around by Kyrou, realizing that he had an opportunity to shoot, but had two guys wide open across the crease. Minute gone in the St. Louis power play. Blues trying to re-enter. They do. Skating it deep. They let him get all the way down to the baseline. Now the Blues up to the low point. Chucking it down. Down to the low baseline. Back up to the low wall. He cycles down to the baseline. Pass out front. Iafallo with a great stick. Not only to stop the puck, but stop it with control and get it away from his goalie. 20 seconds on the power play. 3 minutes to go in the second period. And good sticks lock up St. Louis again. No going for the Blues power play. 5 seconds left as Bennington plays it up. And we are back to full strength. Neighbors into the zone. Pitched up close. Pitched back. They scored. How did they manage to score? St. Louis just working Winnipeg right now. Right as the power play ended, just Winnipeg did a good job getting into the zone. Not enough time for Lowry to come out of the box. Or not Lowry, who was it? Damn. Hellebuck's got no ability to actually put pressure on his stick. He had it. He just couldn't get it away. There's a stick right on him. And he just balled. There's no way he's going to be able to keep that pressure. And just after the power play, scoring for the St. Louis Blues, Braden Shen, assisted by Parayko and Neighbors. Two and a quarter to go in the third, and Bennington covers up. Gets a little bit of a snow shower. Nobody likes that. It was, okay, Lowry was the one in the box. I thought so. Yeah, Parayko somehow, not somehow, but he gets it under Sandberg's stick, and then Hellebuck stops it, and it was a good job, but he had no opportunity to get over and cover it, and he had no opportunity to swat it away. He just stopped it. And again, he's got that goalie stick, big old heavy goalie stick in one hand. There's no way your backhand pressure is going to be harder than the guy cutting across. Great stop, unfortunate situation. Connor feeds it to the front. No go. Jets controlling in the blue zone. Trying to get it to the point as he goes down. No, not happening. Bushnovich gets it deep into the Jet zone. Jets win that and go back the other way. Scheifele just took the helmet off of Fowler. I'm not sure how that's not immediately a penalty. And then we get an offside. How is that not a penalty? Scheifele literally jumped over his back and ripped his helmet off. That absolutely has to be a penalty. Yeah, like I'm on the Winnipeg side to be honest, but that was bullshit. That should have been a penalty. Shifley just jumped on his back and yanked his helmet off his head, and it's not a penalty. Winnipeg across red into the zone. Fought off by Bennington to the low corner, up the low wall. Blues get it out. Get it into the jet zone. Little bit of an edge catch slows him down. Shen with the shot misses wide. Blues controlling the Jets. They score again. I couldn't even get the word zone out before the puck went to the point, and another shot beats Hellebuck. You know what? Pops was right. Again, as he always is. Called saying Hellebuck's going to collapse. He's just going to burn out. And that's looking like exactly what's happening. I thought it would take longer. Oh, never mind. That is not on Hellebuck. That hits the shot missed wide, hits Pionk in the ass, and goes straight down onto Hellebuck's pad and then into the net. That is not on Hellebuck. So as of right now, he's been beat twice. Two of them, two tips are not on him, and then another Blues player loses a helmet. The refs got to start keeping an eye on this stuff, man. 50 seconds to go in the second period, and Blues are putting on pressure in the Jet zone again. Jets can't get it out. Hellebuck tries to get it up the wall. He does, but his boys just can't control the puck, man. He's not getting a lot of help. 30 seconds in the period, Jets finally get it up the low wall and out. Pitch it right back into their own zone, and a good stick, but it breaks the stick. That was almost a fantastic play. Well, Winnipeg is winning. Rocks fan, you are... Oh, Winnipeg is Winnipeg. That I was like, winning. What? Winnipeg is Winnipeg. You are 100% right. And they just can't make it, man. All right, we're on intermission. Just the collapse of Winnipeg has started again. I thought it was going to be a lot later in the playoffs when that happened. I really did. Silly me. Like you say, Winnipeg is Winnipeg. And they're going to do Winnipeg things, which mostly means collapsing when they get to the playoffs. So, curse of the President's Cup is real. Curse of being Winnipeg in the playoffs is real. Always flame out in the first round. Exactly, Rocks fan. And like I said, I talked to my pops about this. I didn't disagree with them that Winnipeg would burn out. I thought it would happen later. I thought they'd at least get to the second round. I had high hopes for them. But, I mean, here's the biggest thing. And we'll see. Let me see how it's changed through the second period. Yeah, the Winnipeg isn't hitting anybody. Bunch of giveaways, even though the Blues have more. And they can't score on a power play. Like, everything on paper is in, except for hits, is in the Jets' favor. I just don't, like you said, the Jets will be the Jets. And it is a shame. Oh, that's what I wanted to do. Need to download one more picture of the food. I want to wait. Eventually, CG's gonna come back in here, and I gotta share some of the stuff I've been smoking with them. So you download that one. Ain't it? Why isn't it downloading? Where is the picture? Predictions for today's game. Well, this one didn't quite go the way that I had predicted. I'm not going to lie. But I think New Jersey and Carolina is the one that I'm really not sure about. I think the Devils are going to come out the same way they did last game. However, they won last game going 0 for 5 on the power play while Carolina went 2 for 4. And then Carolina just couldn't score anything 5 on 5. I don't see the Devils getting away with doing that again. I think there's going to be, 8-9 penalties like there were last game. Devils can't handle the game without the penalties. I think so Canes leading 3-1 is kind of what I see. I see Carolina winning again. I think the game's going to be very similar to how it was the other day, but New Jersey will not get away with going 0 for 5 on the power play. While Carolina even gets 1. I do not see that working out for the Devils. So they take it 3-1 going back to Carolina. I agree with you on that. This one's done. Winnipeg's lost. And I didn't expect that. I thought it'd be a closer game, but I thought, I thought I was really 50-50 either way with this game, but I was expecting it to be a better game than 4-1 or 3-1. Sorry, that's on me. It's 4-1. As for Washington and Montreal, I think Montreal is going to have a short bench by the time it's done. I think Washington, those guys are going to come out with the sole purpose of breaking sternums, dude. And I don't blame the Capitals at all. And it is 100% the fault of Winnipeg for it. Maybe that's what I did. Did I just not? There we go. So, Capitals beat the ever-loving hell out of Montreal, win 5-2, let's say. And then Edmonton tying the series, yes. And I said that from the beginning. It's hard to win in Edmonton because Edmonton gets away with murder across everywhere. In Edmonton, it's even worse. And so I think there's going to be some real shit talking on the refs when we get to that game. I see, I don't know. Edmonton gets shittier and shittier later on. Donnell Nurse and Evander Kane are two of the dirtiest players in the league, especially with stuff after the whistle. And I think they're going to get away with murder. Yeah, McDavid going supernova. Well, I mean, the truth is, you can say that for every game because that you think Edmonton is going to win. Because either McDavid or Draisaitl have to because they don't have anybody else on the damn team. Like I said, it's Edmonton. I don't see Edmonton beating LA, but they might. But, again, McDavid's the greatest player to never lift the cup. Most awarded player to never lift the cup. And that's going to be his legacy because him and Draisaitl take too much money to get a team built around them. But it is what it is. No love lost. But hey, buddy, I'm gonna take a quick couple of minutes because we're gonna go straight from this game into the Carolina New Jersey game. So I want to take a minute during intermission, relax, grab some water. So good time to grab a snack, hit the head, grab a drink, whatever you got to do, and I'll be back. Like I said, in just a few minutes. back just in the nick of time. Let's see. Oop, I don't even have the game up. Man, I am firing on 0 cylinders today. All right, they're not back yet, so we did make it. Now, I'm sure my mic cuts off when I move this. Okay, yep, it sure did, but we are good. And go Blues, Jim. Right on, buddy. So far, so good. It's funny. You may have gotten the lucky draw with going against Winnipeg because everybody knows how they do nothing when it comes to when it comes to the playoffs. They struggle. You see, trying to see why my chat's not popping up in the little square there. But the Blues, they did not look. They have these bursts of looking fantastic, and then these bursts of letting Winnipeg control the zone. But they have done such a good job of shutting down right in front of the crease. Like that. Shot from the point, hits bodies out high. And then they'll do a really bad job. But Winnipeg isn't able to get the tips. And then they'll do a really good job. They've kind of been up and down, but their peaks and valleys are way closer to each other than Winnipeg's. Jets get the puck just past the net. Blues have as well. They fall behind, then come on strong. Exactly. They have the opposite problem that Winnipeg has. Is they build into finding their way. Winnipeg just collapses. I think we went 5-1 against them in 23 when the Knights won it. Puck up the low wall. Jets have it into neutral. Niederreiter tosses it towards Binnington, and he will glove it and hold it. Like, last 13 playoff games for Connor Hellebuyck. Loss. Win. Loss. Win. Loss. And about to be a loss. I mean, he's had 3 games in now like 12 games. This is game 13. He's had 3 games where he didn't give up 4 or more goals. He gave up 3 twice and 1 once. And he has been one of the best goalies all season. But that's exactly, like I said, I talked to my pops about it, and I agree with him 100%. I'm not going to take credit for saying this, but I agree with them 100%. How they need a great, moving in tight, and they score. Hellebuyck just got frozen as he goes down to a knee. And St. Louis goes up 5-1. But Hellebuyck, Winnipeg needs to invest in a very good second goalie. Because Hellebuyck just plays too much. And then he went and played in 4 Nations, and he didn't get a break. And they go all the way through, and this one, I mean, Thomas makes a move he's waiting for the shot. Thomas makes a move to the right. He barely even reacts. So, yeah, Hellebuyck doesn't look good, but the guys in front of him don't look good. That was bad. That was bad. Hellebuyck's got to be getting pulled right now, right? Yeah, there you go, Jim. Hey, your boys look good. 100%. Your boys look good. It's going to be interesting to see how they play back in Winnipeg. I think they're going to carry this right through. Let me look at something real quick. I think it's going to be you versus Colorado, and Colorado's going to be a little tougher because the way Hellebuck's playing versus the way Blackwood is playing against Dallas, it's going to be. I wouldn't expect to have many seven goal games, but the next round is starting to look interesting. Granted, Winnipeg can pull a rabbit out of their ass. Ooh, Bennington stops them. I don't have my cheat sheet up. Give me a sec. I was Barron coming in on the low dot, but pretty good. Pretty easy save for Bennington to make as it hits him in the crest. 3 minutes gone in the third. Shots are 25-18 Winnipeg, but St. Louis scoring 5 goals on those 18 shots to Winnipeg's 1. Whew. Definitely a big shout out to St. Louis. St. Louis looks fantastic, but Winnipeg is helping them look good because, you know, so we had Ottinger pulled last night against Colorado, and Casey DeSmith went in for Dallas. And now Hellebuck gets pulled for Winnipeg, and Comrie's in. Now, the last time I saw Comrie play, he looked really good. So it may be a decision to play Comrie, and depending on how he does, you know what I mean? We shall see. But the Jets have to help their goaltenders out. Puck gets to neutral. All the way down into the low corner. Niederreiter using his body to try and get at the puck. Frozen on the wall. Let's get it moved, gentlemen. Let's get it moving, gentlemen. They do. Perfetti gets it up the low boards. All the way to the point. Morrissey sends it into the middle. Up to the high point. Shot. Bennington fights it off to the low boards. Morrissey gets a stick on it. Winnipeg controlling in the blue zone. Up to the high point. Another shot. DeMello hits bodies out front. Perfetti trying to get it up the high boards. He does. Morrissey at the low point. Throwing it off the wall for a pass. Puck down in the corner. Blues get it. Circling around is Falk getting it up. Or Fowler getting it up. Is it Fowler? We're your broadcast pro, bro. Nice to join your broadcast. Missouri here, right on. The St. Louis broadcast market. Okay, so I'm here. You're doing a fantastic job. Hey, well, thank you very much, Jim. I am out of Las Vegas. I am big-time Golden Knights fan. And there are ways, Google is very helpful in certain ways to be able to watch the game if you're on the computer. A lot of the streams don't work for the phone very well, but streaming out of Vegas, I'm a little delayed on my stream, but also a little delayed on the feed that I get, but you know what I mean? It is what it is. Blackouts all over the place. I wouldn't have been able to watch a single Golden Knights game living in Las Vegas if I didn't do it the way I do it. So, yeah, a lot of blackouts lead to finding alternatives. As unfortunate as it is, hey, good for me, you know what I mean? But I appreciate the compliment, Jim. That's very kind of you. All right, Winnipeg iced it. We'll have a face-off in front of Comrie. Nice to meet you too, Jim. Do plan on being here for all of the playoff games. I did miss a couple. I missed the last St. Louis-Winnipeg game, and I missed, Game 3 for the Golden Knights, unfortunately. But did it to get loaded up and now should be good for a while. So plan on being here for the rest of the playoff games. Makes it a little easier as we start getting through rounds. The 4 games a day has been tough, but man, it has been fun. Scheifele up high. Jets get it in around Binnington. Blues can't control it as Iafallo takes the puck. They do get it back. Blues dumping it in, taking a hit from Pionk. Dude, big contact down low away from the puck. Not exactly sure what happened there. Pionk hit it. Or no, that wasn't. Blues guy ends up breaking his stick on the shot. I thought Pionk took the puck to the stick and shattered it. All right, Jets, desperation mode. 7 minutes gone in the third period. They get it deep. Lowry getting the puck up the low wall. Big turning shot and a miss by Barron. Oh, I guess we had a big hit behind that wasn't caught on camera. Someone got caught up in one of the benches. Puck down low. Winnipeg still has it in the blue zone. Morrissey across the point. Shot. Hits bodies out front again. And it goes up and out of play. 12:24 to go in the third. Let's see. Shots. 26-18 Winnipeg. Oh, yeah. Here it is. Damn. He got, yeah. Who was that? So Bolduc just blasted Appleton. Appleton's going up the boards trying to stop, and he turns back as he goes to stop because he sees Bolduc going to hit him. Bolduc gets down low, gets a shoulder right on the sternum, and just lifted Appleton into the bench. That was fantastic. Like I said, I was expecting a lot more out of this game. My favorite chunk of hockey that I've seen so far was Game 2 in Winnipeg, Blues versus Jets, that first period. Guys were getting lifted off their skates every minute and a half. Somebody was getting blown up. The hits were clean. They were heavy. The hockey was fast. It was awesome. And so I was bummed when I missed Game 3. Then I checked the score and I see it's 7-2. And it was like, what the hell happened? I go and check. There's over 100 hits in the game. Like, damn, I want to go watch that, but 7-2? But now you come into Game 4. I'm like, all right, sick. 100 hits last game. This is going to be just as wild as the early games. No, the early games were way more exciting. And they had, 50 hits total in the game. And now here it's 38-28 St. Louis. Like, Winnipeg, what are you doing? Why are you happy to get your asses beat? Are you that drained? Like, did you burn out that fast again in the playoffs? It seems like it. Like, how do you... I just... Hellebuck does what Hellebuck does. He was a fantastic goalie all year. Gets into the playoff and collapses. Like, it's making it hard to really give him the flowers he deserves for the season when he does this year after year. Game 3 was awesome. Awesome game. Blues hitting everything and anyone. Yeah. See, like I said, I look at the stats, and it sounds like it was an awesome game. Unfortunately, I had to go get some food. I had to go do some Costco shopping. But that's why I loaded up, so I should be good for a while. But, yeah, in that game, in Game 3, Blues had 54 hits, Jets had 59. So you had 113 hits. In this game, you have, 38-29. So 67 hits. And it's not because of the Jets. It's because the Blues are being soft. When Noah gives you a shout out. Oh, word. Shout out to Noah. That's awesome. Puck getting down into the Winnipeg zone. Like, I'm trying to stay into this game. I'm not going to lie to you. It's starting to get a little bit tough. But we're going to hang out on this game before we start up the Carolina, New Jersey stream. So I've kind of made the decision. I'm going to be here for all 4 games. I was considering skipping out on Carolina, New Jersey, but we're going to just go right into it after this game. I will not miss Montreal, Washington. I think there's going to be a nasty, nasty go at it. I have that feeling. And then I can't miss Edmonton, LA, because if we end up somehow winning, that affects us. Appreciate you, bro. Hey, dude, I appreciate everybody, everyone that comes in here. You coming in here and just hanging out and talking with me, buddy. I said I started doing this just because I figured why not? Like, I get bored sitting here watching these alone. So why not hop on and see if anybody else is watching them, you know? It's like, I wish I could just show the game. That would be way better. But, of course, we can't do that. Blues get it in, Jets get it into the Blues zone. Puck comes around, shot across the crease, goes off of Binnington's stick, up and out. 36, I know this. 36 for Winnipeg. I know this. Don't cheat. I've looked at his name a million times and I can't remember it. I gotta cheat. Barron. See, I still have a hard time with the names. There's too many games going on for me to really focus on who everybody is. So I definitely butcher the names a lot. And if you don't get us actually watch the game, I greatly apologize because that's got to be irritating as hell. But best alternative I found is the NHL app. And going in through the radio, listening to your team side radio. Especially for the Vegas games, because it's Dan Duva and Gary Lawless. And Dan Duva is the best play-by-play guy, in my opinion. Lowry gets it across into neutral. DeMello tosses it down on Bennington, who plays it behind himself. Blues hanging out in their zone. They got less than 10 minutes to kill. Headed back the other way, across the red line and in. Jets have it up in the high corner, but struggling to control the puck like they have all game. Getting it down below the net. Winnipeg's going to get it out all the way across up high. I think that's going to be an icing, and it is. Iafallo cannot get a stick on it, and we have 9.5 to go. In the third, shots are 27-19 Winnipeg, but Blues absolutely dominating. So, expecting, again, Carolina in New Jersey. Game 4 in New Jersey. Devils won. Going 0 for 5. This is why I think Carolina's going to win. The Devils won going 0 for 5 on the power play. Carolina went 2 for 4 and didn't score a 5-on-5. No way that happens again. And I don't see the Devils scoring on a power play. Or I don't see them going 2 for 5, 2 for 4, anything like that. And they can't do that. They're not going to be able to give up multiple power play goals and not score one themselves. And I think that's exactly what's going to happen, and they're going to lose for it. So I see that one going back to Carolina 3-1. Obviously, this one's going back to Winnipeg 2-2. Blues controlling in the zone. Get it down to the low dot. Trying to go around the backside of the net. He holds up. Battle in that low corner. Up the low boards from the point. Shot fought off by Comrie. Scheifele trying to get it. Perfetti trying to get it. Blues end up with a big shot from the top of the high circle. Comrie gets the save. Kyle O'Connor trying to get it out of the zone. He does. And they're going to go for a change. Binnington settles it behind his own net. Blues working it up the low wall. Kyrou all the way across. You got a breakaway for the Blues, and Comrie does a good job to stay solid. Little bit of a weak shot right into Comrie's crest. But still, a great opportunity for St. Louis and a good read by Comrie. I mean, as of right now, I don't see Hellebuck starting game 5, and I would leave it. I would leave Comrie. Might as well give it a shot. Puck down in the low corner. Blues still controlling in the Winnipeg zone. Up the low boards, all the way across the point. Big shot goes wide of the net. Down on the low dot. Winnipeg struggling to get even near the puck in order to try and get it out. DeMillo flops to the ground as he fights for position. Back up to the low point, and Jets finally clear it. Going for a change. St. Louis should be doing the same, and they do. From their own zone, Blues pitching it over to the high wall. They get it in. Short-lived as Winnipeg sends it the other way. Jets cross the blue line. Shot on Binnington. Kicked away. And the Blues head right on back into neutral before the Jets take it. And, completely mishandle it. Somehow getting away with that. That was Shen just fumbling the puck at neutral. Appleton sends it deep into Blues territory. Hang on. Jets still controlling. Oh, Appleton gets stuffed and the puck goes back to the point. Lowry loses control and the Blues head back the other way. Good play by Thomas to get the puck out. Pion gets it clear. Lowry cannot. Winnipeg loses it in their own zone again and again. They finally get control. Let's reset. Jets from their own zone. Under 6 to go in the period. All is absolutely lost, but don't tell them that. And puck goes up and out of play. All right, so let me take a quick look while they're resetting over at the next game, because I'm sure we're going to be on a delay. They've got to be waiting for this game to finish before they start it up. Okay, and they are. So, dude, why does Winnipeg do so good and then just fall apart? Because they're Winnipeg. That's what they do. To be honest with you, Hellebuck gives up goals, and Winnipeg just can't handle the first round of the playoffs. I'm just shocked by this result as seen by the prediction yesterday. Yeah, right, Swede? No, so am I. I thought Winnipeg would do a little bit better, but I'm also denying history, to be honest with you. Dude, I don't know why the chat's not popping up. I got to figure that out before the next stream. But, yeah, Winnipeg does what Winnipeg does. Racist fan put it perfectly. It's Winnipeg is Winnipeg. Well, actually, Welp. Welp. Winnipeg is Winnipeg. Like, it's exactly it, dude. Winnipeg cannot handle the first round of the playoffs. I don't know what it is. Like, hopefully Comrie, so far Comrie comes in, he looks comfortable. Has had a couple of opportunities to make stops, which he has, but he hasn't been overly challenged and aggressively challenged. So we'll see how he does for the rest of this period. I would expect Comrie to start when they get back to Winnipeg. Like, Hellebuck is doing what Hellebuck does. Plain and simple. And the Jets in front of them are doing what the Jets do. So, it's a shame. It really is. Absolutely, racist fan. And that's exactly what I'm saying with Winnipeg needs to invest in a good second goalie. And until they do that, they're in trouble. Because, this year, Connor didn't get his break, didn't even get the All-Star break because he was playing Four Nations. So he gets overplayed and doesn't get the break when everybody else does. It's like, you're in trouble with that. You know what I mean? Like, that's not good. Let's see. Yeah, I mean, dude played 63 games this season. He had 19 games off and played an extra, what, 4? For for America? For the Four Nations? Like, so 67 games. So I mean, this is like his 71st game this season. That is absolutely insane. But they need a good second goalie so that he doesn't get burned out. The same way that the Oilers need to build a team around Draisaitl and McDavid rather than give them all the money. Just like Vegas needs to stop shoving Shea Theodore down everybody's throat. Like, everybody has their issues, but Hellebuck is a big one. And he's going, Tim, not going too bad, Demi. So far, St. Louis is beating the living hell out of Winnipeg. It hasn't been the exciting game I thought it was going to be. Little disappointed in the performance by Winnipeg, not just because of the score, but because nobody's hitting anybody. Tucker is doubled. I mean, he is laid out on the ice. I missed what happened here. I thought I saw contact, but it didn't look like anything. But if Tucker ends up going out, that will be tough on St. Louis. And he's about to get helped off the ice. Let's see what happened. Oh, that's a shoulder. Or no, he grabs his leg. He's grabbing his leg. What the hell just happened? Come Blue Jays going to shop Elvis this offseason? That wouldn't be a bad idea. Dude, that was the weirdest leg injury because his stick gets around the body, so he's kind of pulled in. I thought that would be his shoulder, but I don't understand what just happened to his leg. We're going to take a second. Let me see if I can rewind a couple seconds, take another look at that. Oh. Wait. It was he just went down awkward. That's all it was. Dahlin should go to Tampa or Montreal for real. I mean, do it within the cap. It's. Oh, whoops. I'm on the wrong thing here. So, real quick, that was just Tucker's out. He just fell really awkwardly backwards with his leg tucked under him. He's out. There's no way he's coming back for any more games. That's super bad news. Hope he recovers. Hope he recovers well, fast, and doesn't try to hurry for playoffs. If he's healthy, good. But he went backwards with his leg under him very awkwardly. It looked like something happened before he fell, but ouch, dude. Like, that's painful. But yeah, I would expect a lot of movement in the offseason because during the trade deadline, you got to see a lot of teams who are looking to rebuild. So, like San Jose, Boston, those are like the best two examples I got. I'll just stick with those two. And then you see a lot of where the trades are going for the draft. I would expect a lot of action in the offseason. Oh, yeah, dude. So as he went into... Oh, shit. So yeah, he gets caught as he goes into the board. His toe hits the board, and you can see his whole leg shift. Instead of his heel going in, his whole leg twist. And once it does, he collapsed. I gotta think that's an ACL, man. That is horrible to see. So reports are predicting an offseason to offer sheets. Hey, we'll definitely keep an eye out on everything happening during the offseason. We'll have to come up with stuff to do while we stream, but keeping an eye on all the moves and all the discussion and the rumors and all that stuff, we'll keep an eye on it. The big sorry, I'm getting my thoughts are in the game as well as thinking of I'm curious to see what happens with Montreal and Washington throughout this series to see if Lindgren holds up or if the new guy from Montreal ends up being better. But if he ends up being a brick wall for Montreal, like that'll create some interest in him, and we'll see where he goes. If Montembeau's injured, that may create something because they'll need another goalie depending on the injury. Like, there's a lot of stuff going on, and a lot of teams are finding weaknesses right now. I mean, for us, I pray the Golden Knights get rid of Shea Theodore and we could get a decent defenseman. Literally, any other defenseman in any other games we've been watching would be better than Shea. But if not, just put Ben Hutton up. I'm to the point where I hope Ben Hutton gets traded because he's a fantastic defenseman that we're not using to shove Shea Theodore down everybody's throat for some reason. Oh, we got a little bit of a get together up at the benches. Not sure what happened. Yeah, let's take a quick look. Hurricanes, Devils. What's happening? Are they still watching this game? Yes, they are. Oof. Oh, I just saw his knee again. I said he goes to stop. Everything's cool. He goes to stop. He puts his toe on the ice, and instead of like his heel going forward so he can plant, you see his whole leg twist. And it's like that something bad just happened right there. And then he collapsed backwards on it. Like, that's gotta be an ACL. And it looked so simple, but that has to be an ACL injury. Oh, that's brutal. Oh. You know, it's not too bad. I have the ability to watch it, but then you just start thinking about what would happen if your leg went that way. And it's like, ooh, yeah, okay, I can see how that wouldn't feel good. Under 2 minutes to go. Jets into the blue zone. Go up. Pionk barely keeps it in. Appleton works it up to the point. Shot down low. Misses the net. Blues are going to reset from their own zone. 90 seconds to go in the game. And we got more fights happening. And Lowry is just straight throwing blows. I mean, Lowry had somebody doubled over the bench. I think that was Texier. He had Texier stomach down on the board, just swinging blows. Like, guys, get out of this game. You're done. This is the shit that makes me say Winnipeg is done. Like, done. Over. No chance. Because they can't keep their cool. That's why I think Dallas is going to have a hard time next game because they can't keep their cool. Especially going in Dallas where their fans have no problem throwing shit on the ice. This dude's trying to hide a glove. Like, oh, what, you think the player is just going to be like, oh, that magically disappeared. I don't know what happened. All right, they're sorting this out. So I'm trying to get a little bit. There's the other glove. Let's see it. What are we looking at here? There it is. Appleton was not happy. And then Lowry and Texier get at it. And Lowry just drops his gloves and starts launching at Texier. Not a good look for Winnipeg, man. It's over. It's over for sure. No debate about it right now. I said the dude's trying to pretend like he didn't just, like, you're in the middle of a hockey arena. You're sitting against the glass by the boards. You got a player's glove and you're pretending that you don't have it with all the cameras on you. Like, how stupid are, okay. It's like, how stupid are people? But then that brings you back to my favorite George Carlin quote. Think of how stupid the average person is. Then realize half the people are dumber than that guy. It's funny, but that is obnoxious. St. Louis ends up with the power play. I'm curious to see what's going to come out of this, because if Anderson and Wilson both got fined $5,000, then I got to see Lowry get fined at least $5,000. But as far as what I can see, Tkachuk didn't get suspended, which is obnoxious. If he doesn't go, if they suspended Hagel and Tkachuk doesn't get suspended, that's a big problem, because it was the same hit. And so far, there's been nothing. There hasn't even been a meeting announced for Tkachuk. All right, 40 seconds. Do have the Devils Carolina game up, but we are going to start up a new stream for it. So it will be, this one's going to end, and we'll fire up the next one closer to starting time for the Carolina Devils game. Should have right there. Okay. 10, 9, 8. Blues in the zone. 30 seconds on the power play. 1 second on the clock. And the Blues embarrassed the Jets for the second time in St. Louis. So we'll give some opinions on this game. I mean, you heard most of them. We've been here for the game. But we'll give some more on the next stream. I'm going to cut it off right now. I know it's fast, but I want to get going for the Hurricanes-Devils game. So, going to end this, going to fire that one up, and we'll be back in a couple of minutes. So, hope you guys can join me there. Thank you for joining me here. And, we'll be back, like I said, very soon.